Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And we are here with Tim's Nation to bring you a revealing Warhammer 40K battle report.
I'm not revealing anything. This was not discussed beforehand.
I couldn't resist. But yes, we are actually playing the Death Guard and the World Eaters, because neither one of us was going to allow the other person to be the first one to play these armies, so we're not testing into anything else. We're just going straight for it. 2 new codexes that we just got in our hands. You have Blight and Filth versus what should be Bronze and Blood, but mostly it's just primer.
A little bit of gray.
Mostly just primer. Now, to be fair, and that is why Angry Ron is sitting here at the middle of the table with us. Because while most of my World Eaters still needs a lot of work, I spent a real long time on this guy. It's not my fault that he is now terrible. So,
just to prove that DJ has painted some World Eaters.
I have painted something.
He just painted the wrong one.
Yeah, painted all the wrong. Yeah, went the wrong direction with that. But no, I got a lot of commissions. I'm getting that taken care of so I can get back onto this stuff. And I haven't taken World Eaters competitively seriously until this detachment, really. This detachment, I'm running Daemonkin. There is a lot of very technical plays with it. While it does have some punching power, everything is really just a data slate stat check, realistically, for most of my army. But it's the way I can manipulate it to make you check stats that's really, really interesting and technical about this list for playing the game.
Well, it's a new codex, so I'm going to be checking my stats frequently to see what my stats are.
But you are, what's kind of the theme you're rolling with for your army in that sense?
The theme is I want to drive a Land Raider through a building and get Plague Marines out and charge them. So I'm running Mortarians Hammer. It's the vehicle-based detachment. And yeah, one of the strats is you can move a vehicle through a wall. That's all I want to do today is just run the Land Raider through the wall and get Plague Marines out and have them charge after they've run through the wall. So, yeah, that's the whole plan.
Here I am being all technical with this.
No.
The list I'm running is doing this, and you're just like, I'm going to go forward.
Yeah, I'm doing the most World Eaters thing.
It's actually, yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of flipped. Yeah. You're playing World Eaters Death Guard. I'm playing Death Guard World Eaters, because I'm staying back. And I have 3 Forge Fiends. I have a shooting threat.
Yeah, what are you doing shooting? What's going on here?
All right, let's get over these lists, because this is bonkers. I can't wait to get these armies on the table. So, Lane, let's talk about this new Death Guard out of Mortarians Hammer.
If you want to know more specifics about these detachments, the stratagems, the enhancements, all these data sheets and how we plan to use them, please check out our separate individual army list videos where we go through and talk about all that. But for now, here's a short rundown. This is exactly 2,000 points of Death Guard and Mortarians Hammer. I do have the old standbys, the Biologist Putrefier, and the Foul Blight Spawn. I have a Lord of Contagion, and we have 2 Lords of Virulence, one of which has the Shriekworm Familiar enhancement, the other has the Tenderless Emissions enhancement. I do have a 10-man of Plague Marines. For equipment here, we do have 4 heavy plague weapons, the Champion with the Power Fist and Plasma Gun, 1 Plague Spitter, 2 Blight Launchers, and 2 more Plasma Guns. I do have a Chaos Land Raider. We have 2 Squads of the Death Shroud Terminators, 2 6-mans, and then we have a 3-pack of the Fetid Bloat Drones with the heavy Blight Launchers. We've got 2 of the Myphitic Blight Haulers and 1 10-man of Poxwalkers. DJ, what are you bringing today?
All right, so here it is, built in the 11th hour, literally, the Khorne Daemonkin. So right there, that big gray Forge Fiend got him the day of to be able to put this list together and determined that I could even run this thing, so bear with me. Khorne Daemonkin, Blood Tides. We destroy a unit. On a 3-up, we gain a point. You can spend those points at the beginning of any command phase on one of 4 abilities. We'll get more into those when they become relevant. For the list, I got 3 Forge Fiends with the Ectoplasma Cannons, 10-man squad of Berserkers, 3 2-man squad of Chaos Spawn, a Demon Prince with the enhancement to make him super, super hurty, a squad of Blood Crushers led by a Khorne Juggernaut Lord, and he's got the enhancement to be able to let him lead that squad, 2 10-man Bloodletters, a 5-man of Fleshhounds, and the partridge in the pear tree on this whole list, Big Daddy Scarbrand. Scarbrand outweighs the Bloodthirster. They're both 305 points. So equal point value there. But Scarbrand just points 1 more attack here. 1 more attack here.
Flat 6 damage on his strike.
Flat 6 damage, where the Bloodthirster's D6 +2 could technically hit an 8. you don't have to worry you're going to hit a 6. So you're rolling at least a 4 every time reliably. So I'll take that. I think most people obviously will take that. Aura effect of +1 attack. The fact that all of his profiles are just both Khorne axes combined and better. So he's better where we want him to be in combat and advance in charge. So big quality there. And can still deep strike. So there's that. But the Bloodthirster does have cool things out of his attachment for enhancement purposes because he's a character. So that is neat. But yeah, otherwise a lot of just little tricks and 3 Forge Fiends. Those will be interesting. You have abilities though to make that a little rough on me. What do you got?
Yeah, today we're doing the Hammer, Mortarians Hammer, and the detachment abilities. I just, at the start of the battle round, I put 2 of my opponent's units. They have to be more than 12 inches from my units, but who cares? Pick 2 units, and they are afflicted, so they're in the contagion range. They use the term afflicted now more so than contagion, but that means that when my units are shooting at them, they're affected by the debuffs, and it means when I deep strike in my Death Round Terminators, they can take advantage of their 6-inch deep strike.
Yeah, that's just like listening to it and thinking about it again. It makes me pause and go through so many scenarios where I'm like, that doesn't work. That doesn't stop it. That doesn't stop. That's such a strong ability. There is some ways. What's funny is that my character list kind of stops it because it's like, oh, this one's in contagion, but yet this guy isn't. So there's fun things with some of your, but still everything else, every normal army, they just strike from so many angles, fast, very fast.
Yeah, it gives some speed to death guard, which are normally kind of slow. So that's fun. I mean, you can still fail a 6-inch charge, but hopefully I save that CP for the reroll.
So before we roll, make the determining roll for who's going to deploy first. I want to have a ceremonious moment, something that I've never actually seen done. So we're going to have maybe a YouTube first, but definitely first on this channel. This is the moment where a model that is currently on the table is being removed from the table to be shelved.
Onto the shelf.
Here we go.
For now.
Sorry, Angron. The time has come. You go here. We open the glass case and place you on the shelf.
Well, we got like a year until 11th edition, so he'll be back.
Till next release. I mean, yeah, that's his whole gimmick is to just keep coming back, so he's got to find a way to come back. But no, they did him real dirty. They did him real dirty for this codex. Yeah, sorry, Angron. Scarbrand's the king right now. All right, Lane, odd or even?
Even.
And it is even. Deploying first or second, my friend?
You have infiltrators?
Niet. I have scout.
Okay, I guess I'll drop first.
All right. We'll be back after deployment. All right, we are deployed. Lane, what are we doing here today?
We are playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000 with all the brand new rules. Our deployment today is Hammer and Anvil. I hope you can figure that out by checking out the board there. Our mission special rule is Stalwarts, so battle line units can perform an action and still shoot, and they can perform actions while they're within engagement range. I do have a squad of Plague Marines as my battle line. You've got some Berserkers.
Yes, and the Bloodletters as well.
And then our primary mission is good old Purge the Foe. You get 4 points for holding an objective. You get 4 more points if you control more objectives than your opponent. You get 4 points each time you kill, or if you killed at least 1 unit, and then you get another 4 points if you kill more units than your opponent did in the battle round. Hold 1, hold more, kill 1, kill more.
All right, so as far as deployments, I have in Deep Strike, Scarbrand, and 2 squads of Bloodletters on table. We got the Forge Fiends positioned behind terrain, drawing up some firing lanes and being able to get us into good position to put threats on those objectives as Lane tries to take them. We have our spawn up front, so they're going to be able to scout move into a little bit more, to get behind the ruins, get a little more protected, but also be able to threaten those objectives with a nice little 80-point unit. Demon Prince is at center so that he can go wherever the game goes. And then you have Khorne Berserkers and Blood Crushers on opposite sides to hit on whatever flank I need them to hit. All right, that's it for me. Lane, what do you got?
All right, so I have got 2 squads of Death Shroud in Deep Strike because that's where they want to be. And then I've got my Plague Marines inside my Land Raider here, ready to rock and roll, go out and start getting into trouble. We've got our Poxwalkers infiltrating and ready to move forward for maybe an area denial or a cleanse in there. We've got a bunch of vehicles surrounding our Lord of Virulence with the enhancement that keeps him lone op while he's within 3 inches of vehicles. He's going to buff those vehicles shooting there. And we've got one other Myphitic Blade Hauler hanging out there to do maybe a containment or to get on that objective. That's it.
All right. And so I think in this, there's not really much we can say elsewise except, Lane, do you really want to go first or second?
Either one. First is good because then I'm choosing my choosing your units that I'm putting the contagion on at the start of my turn, which is kind of handy. But if I go second, that rapid ingress with Death Shroud is always strong.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree with that. That rapid ingress can be really, really big. Scarbrand on that too. I would love to see it. So, all right, let's see. Let this decide. And looks like I will be going first in the debut of Death Guard and World Eaters. Lane, do you have any scout moves?
Nope.
I do, and I will talk about those in my movement phase. So, Lane, it's time to play the game. For turn 1, the World Eaters get establish locus and extend battle lines. So for my scout moves, I moved these guys up just slightly off the objective. I moved these guys up in the corner over here, and then moved those guys to where they stayed put to see what my cards were. And then when I got these cards, then I started making my move. So these ones came up, staying just behind this template, so they're just out of line of sight from anything over there, but not him. He could move on to him. And they will be my extend battle line for No Man's Land. And then back here, he stayed put just to take some shots downwind. He actually did score 2 wounds through to do 6 damage to this guy. And this one backed that thing up to get within 6 inches and be able to establish locus at middle, so which allowed me to advance these guys. So we're going to charge these Poxwalkers Lane's got in here and just start eliminating his resources. Over here, these guys, like I said, they stayed put. Didn't need anything else on objective, so don't need to lose or use them too soon. While the Blood Crushers and Berserkers stayed back, don't need to really get them out there and start getting them beat on anytime soon. So, yeah, and then that Forge Fiend also stayed still, so it's not going to shoot at all. So that's it for the shooting phase, the movement phase. But before we conclude the turn, we're going to charge these 2 spawn into some Poxwalkers and see how they can do. So from a better angle, we did pick up 5 of the Poxwalkers. They poked us in the eyes, if these things even have eyes, and got 2 wounds off on these guys. So not bad Poxwalkers. I got a little brave there. They're little flailing dudes. They only hit on 4s. But if I would have picked probably one of the blessings that it could have given me like lethal or sustained would have been the best one. Probably should have just picked that just in case. But instead, I took other blessings that really didn't matter. I didn't need to reroll charges. I got in there right on the hit. So I do score pretty well in secondaries. Get a 5 for extend. And what is it? 2 for establish? Yeah, 2 for establish locus. And we'll kick it over to Lane.
For my very first turn, I'll be trying to storm a hostile objective and engage on all fronts. Now, I can pitch storm hostile on turn 1. It doesn't say I have to. It says that you may. And I do not wish to may because I'm going to try and storm this hostile objective right here. Turns out the spawner only OC1, so my Myphitic Blade Hauler, if I make a charge into them, it will, I'll take the objective from them. So that's what we're looking to do here. I did advance the Land Raider out, but I'll probably spend a CP so they can shoot these spawn. My brave little Poxwalkers fell back a little bit so they can be safe. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna do a little bit of shooting. I did position these guys so these bow drones can shoot this Forge Friend here. Yeah, that's that. Let's do a little bit of shooting. So a few things to talk about here. First off, this is my fitting. So I advanced the Land Raider. There is an advance and shoot strat. However, the strat says that you do it in your shooting phase, not at the start of your shooting phase, not after you rolled the advance roll. This is actually pretty great because what I did was there were 2 chaos spawn here. I moved up this Myphitic Blade Hauler, he had a regular move, and then I had the Land Raider here that advanced. So because you use the advance and shoot strat in your shooting phase, I was able to shoot with this Myphitic Blade Hauler first. He did great. hit with the crack missile and finished off the wounded one, and the multi-melters went through and finished off the other one. So, of course, in melter range. So because the Blight Hauler was able to finish those spawn off by himself, I actually did not need to spend the CP on the advance and shoot for this guy. So the timing of that advance and shoot stratagem, giving the unit assault, is great because it is in the shooting or in the shooting phase, so you don't have to declare it at the time of your advance or anything. So awesome! I got to save a CP there and not spend it just because this little Blight Hauler did so well in his shooting. Then we had these two fetid bloat drones. The Lord of Violence was able to spot the Forge Fiend who was hiding in the building over here. So you could see him, so he was going to get full rerolls to hit from the blast weapons on the bloat drones, and then rerolling ones to wound because that's what the enhancement gives them. So we were able to do some shooting, did some damage on him, took him down to 6 wounds. He has toughness 10, but because I marked him with the detachment rule, he was in affliction, so he was T10 down to T9, which meant I was wounding him on 3s with the strength 10 blight launchers here. So again, the rules really coming into play. Over here, I moved up my Fennec Blight Hauler. He was able to shoot down the first of the two guys here, the first of the two spawn, charged in there and was able to get engaged, just had just enough on the charge to get me on this side of the board. Didn't finish off this spawn in combat, though. I spent a CP to tank shock. I got 0 mortal wounds on the tank shock, even at toughness 9. Wasn't able to finish him off. That turns out for the better because DJ was hoping that I did finish him off. Why was that, DJ?
Because I was just within enough range to be able to drop the bloodletters down and possibly ding both objectives across the map, being not wholly within 9 inches of that spawn, and tag those. So if you would have taken them down, I would have been able to bring bloodletters in and score hold more on primary for a big 4 points to make extra 4 points to make it catch up after not killing a unit this round.
Yeah, but never have been so glad then that my tank shock went very poorly. So yeah, that stratagem to bring in bloodletters when anything dies is really big. But so yeah, that's how it went. I did score in Baby Engage and I did score Storm, so I got 6 points. But I also got a kill in turn 1, so I got 4 for Purge the Foe on primary. That's it for my turn. On to DJ.
Recover assets and behind enemy lines is what I'm looking to try to do this turn. At the end of for this turn, at the end of Lane's turn, I did pick up the Fleshhounds, and we went into it. So we didn't. We got through CP, and we did not need to bring any bloodletters in. So we kind of stayed put. Blood Crusher stayed on the table, and they stayed here, as well as their Forge Friend. This Forge Fiend is sticking around up here, and he's just going to shoot back at the guys that shot at him. As Demon Prince moved out with a spawn, the spawn that was in combat, fell back over here to take the center objective so that we can get some objectives. Now, recover assets. We're going to use this Forge Fiend right here to recover assets. We brought the Fleshhounds back in over here. They're also going to recover assets as well as score me behind enemy lines. And then these Berserkers are going to try and make a charge on this little thing and see if they can't pick it up. So we do have a little bit of shooting I want to do, specifically this guy, but it's mostly just going to be getting over into the charges. And after I finished my movement phase, Lane did spend a command point rapid ingress these Terminators. This was originally where he was thinking.
I was going to go here, but these guys can make a charge. And I was trying to get a little bit further away to be maybe outside of 10. But apparently they get +1 to their charge, and they're re-rolling all their charges. So I didn't want to risk getting slapped first by them. So
and also have Lance. That's the blessings I picked for the turn was re-roll. Because Juggernaut Lord. So there.
I don't like that at all.
I love it. All right. Let's do a little bit of shooting and a little bit of fighting. All right, so shooting-wise, we did absolutely nothing. We shot with the Forge Fiend and failed to hit. -1 to hit. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Over here, we shot and did absolutely nothing. No -1 to hit, but still terrible, terrible, terrible. We're World Eaters. They're not known for shooting, but we need to get close. This guy needs to get close, and that's when they really go off. Charging-wise, even with the -1 to hit, Berserkers did charge in and pick up the flow. What's it?
My Fennec Blight Hauler.
That thing. Pick that up. Even with the -1 to hit, still just volume of attacks and hitting on 4s wasn't too bad. Plus the lethal hits that we took for the World Eater Blessing this round. And these guys, they really loved that lethal hits for this round as they were able to put 6 lethal and did 8 damage in total with the wounds and everything else.
AP1, I just rolled a whole bunch of 2s on my saves.
Very much so. So 8 damage to the Land Raider. Woohoo! Go mutants. That's it for my turn. So we did, like I said, we're recovering assets, so that's still happening. But we did score 3 for behind enemy lines with the Fleshhounds. All right, over to Lane, see how he decides to answer back.
For my turn, we pulled assassination and no prisoners. It's time to kill. Because now is the time of killing. So we got this Demon Prince up here in the midden. We'll be going for him, see if we can do some killing there. Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of shooting. So movement-wise, I moved back here. I got to deal with these Fleshhounds or else they'll just come and take my home field objective because they are OC1. So this boat drone came back here to deal with them. I advanced over here. No, I just moved over here with him. These guys kind of moved back a little bit. I don't want to get charged by the Berserks right away over there, so I just made their charge a little bit longer. Yeah, and like I said, Death Ride just step forward here. We're going to go for this Demon Prince. Land Raider stayed here. The Plague Marines are still inside. We're just going to shoot these guys. Maybe we'll pick up one of them. I doubt that they'll do 8 damage to me again, but you never know. So maybe I'll pick one up in the shooting, make things a little bit better there. So let's do that. Let's roll out some shooting. Who's this?
Don't forget, good old Scarbrand has come to play. So we rapid ingress Scarbrand back here. And yeah, he's going to try and pick up some of these vehicles, get rid of these things.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I moved this Blight Hauler back here. I couldn't block him out, but if he does go there, then I can shoot him if he does show up. So maybe I'll do some damage there. So we'll see. Just one Blight Hauler will be able to shoot him, though. On to my shooting phase. So shooting did not really go the way I wanted it to. Lots of problems here. So Land Raider shot here. Did pick up one of these spawns. So hopefully he's not going to wipe my Land Raider in combat by finishing off the last 8 wounds off of him. Just picked up 2 of these Demon Dogs with our shooting from the bloat drone. Over here, I did get 1 wound through on the missile, but DJ did CP reroll the save and made it so no damage done to Scarbrand. Over here, I was going to shoot these guys at the Forge Fiend. However, what I did instead, first I hit the fired the flamers at the spawn here, but when the spawn died, DJ spent the CP to bring in the Bloodletters. And they just got to be anywhere. They can be really spread out. So he really just blocked me out from charging the Demon Prince. And I have Assassinate. I really needed to kill him. So instead, I fired the 2 boat drones into here. I probably just should have shot them into the Demon Prince. But
good, blown up.
Oh, right. Yeah. So should have just kept shooting at this thing, I guess. But anyways, killed 6 of the Bloodletters. So that's sad. So I guess it'll be like an 8-inch charge to get around and get to the Demon Prince. So I don't think we're going to make that. So we're just going to slap these guys here and that'll be it. At least we'll get kill more on this turn because we did kill that spawn there and then we'll get 2 kills here. So that's it. We'll just do that. And that'll be, and then I'll probably charge over here and tank shock these hounds trying to do something about them. But here we go. A little bit of punching. Okay, so the bloat drone picked up. I did tank shock here, just trying to wipe out some of these dogs, and picked up 1, and then killed 1 in fighting. So there's just 1 dog left. He did get a damage through on me here. This time the Land Raider took no damage and did 1 damage to this dirty little spawn here. And of course, the Death Shroud charged in and slapped really good into the 4 Bloodletters, got them pretty good. I'm going to admit, guys, we didn't roll out the dice there. We just assumed that my bazillion, I think I got close to 50 sweep attacks. I assumed that they would get 4 through.
Into 1, I don't know, they got a 5-up in ball.
Yeah. So we did get 2 kills. So we did end up with kill more because DJ only had 1 kill. And then I got 2 for no prisoners. I'm actually pitching Assassinate because if I kept it, DJ could just run this guy away. I don't know if I'll be able to pick the character out of here. He doesn't have a whole lot of characters. So, yeah, that's it. On to DJ's turn.
All right, so we are on containment and no prisoners. So we're only going to be able to contain with 1 at the end of this all, and that's going to be these Berserkers, because they got hit with the contagion debuff, so they're going to be -1 to hit as well. Yeah, and also I kind of just wanted them to zone out in the back. So I guess I could have moved them up here. They might have gotten overwatched, and I lost a couple of them, but instead, we're just going to try and put Forge Fiends. We moved all 3 Forge Fiends up. All 3 Forge Fiends are in 18 inches, and all 3 Forge Fiends are going to bring down the might of Khorne itself in shooting. on these Terminators and see what we can do there. And then finish off by charging in the Demon Prince with his flat 4 damage. We are on reroll charges and lethal again for our blessings on the World Eater units. So just the Berserkers are going to contain for this round. We did fall back with the dog onto this objective. He passes Battle Shock, so, you know, something crazy happens. He's there. And then we fell back with the spawn, just I wanted to zone out a little bit more over here in this pocket to clear the rapid ingress, so that didn't happen. These guys are also contagioned, which won't matter too much if I do stick the charge, because they'll be contagioned anyways. But they're within a decent charge range as well, too. If I don't do enough damage, I can try and charge those guys in as well. +1 charge and re-rolling charges because they have blessings since the Juggernaut Lord is there. All right, we did pick up at the end of Lane's turn. We did spend the command point and pick up the Bloodletters because we weren't going to hold more, so we just needed to hold one objective, which we did with the Berserks. And so we just, because of the strat and the way it's worded, I do not have to bring the Bloodletters back in. They're just back in strategic, so they're still hanging out in strategic where I can use my nifty handy-dandy strat and bring them in after units destroyed. So we'll see maybe when that happens. But first, we got a big shooting phase with these Forge Fiends. Let's see how they do. So Lane tanked the saves pretty well here. I only took out 2 guys and left one dude with 2 wounds because the Demon Prince shot through. So we're going to need to do a little better than that. We got some charges, though. We're World Eaters. We're meant to fight, not shoot. Disappointed with the Forge Fiends. We did have 2 of them that were out. But, I mean, 4 up invulns, and it takes at least 2 hits going through to take out just 1 guy.
They're AP3. If they're going into something that doesn't have an invuln, they're going to do a lot more work.
Yeah. It was hopeful. I was hoping actually to pick up at least 2 more. That's what I was kind of hoping for, is at least 2 more, drop it down to, you know, the 3 guys in a character somewhere around there. But we do have some good charges coming up, so let's get to fighting. Fighting went much, much, much better. So first of all, right off, we made every single charge. They charged, landed, and picked up 2 alone with just the impact damage. And then the Juggernaut Lord was able to, actually he finished off the unit. And I think did the Demon Prince even get to swing? Yeah, Demon Prince swung first. Actually, Demon Prince swung first. He finished off the last guys in the squad.
2 guys on the charge. Demon Prince picked up 2 because he's flat 4 damage.
And the Juggernaut Lord accidentally picked up the character who was once per game allowed to stand back up on a 2-up, so that's why he's over there. But that was 2 units destroyed for no prisoners. I did spend my only command point to get D3 Blood Tithe, and I got 3. So I did not spend them immediately. I'm going to spend them in Lane's command phase because that's 2 kills over there. And then over here, Scarbrand split his attacks and didn't wound him as much. Lane did spend a command point on a CP reroll to keep this one alive, but we did blow this one up wholeheartedly. So we got 1 of the 2. Very nice. That'll give us the 5 on no prisoners. And then as far as containment's concerned, again, we just have the 1 unit over here. So we got 5 on no prisoners. We got 3 units so far destroyed for the turn. And we're going to spend the Blood Tithe points. We rolled the dice. We only got 1 more Blood Tithe point, which was just enough out of 3 kills. So we will spend all 4 and get the 4-up invuln for all of my Blood Legion units. All right, let's kick it over to Lane.
We pulled Establish Locus and bring it down. The good thing this guy popped back up to life because now he can establish Locus in the midden. And then bring it down. We're just gonna have to go for killing stuff here. So Land Raider disgorged its Plague Marines here. They're gonna go mess with these Bloodletters. You don't have a fight first or anything?
Nope.
Okay. And Land Raider can also shoot the Demon Prince or can shoot over here at this guy. We got to bring it down, so we want to bring things down. Moved up this Blight Hauler so he can take shots at Scarbrand. This Bloatdrome failed his battle shock, so he's not going to fall back. But we can still shoot at him just at a -1 to hit. And then Death Shroud lined up a charge into Scarbrand. They'll put the Flamers into this last dog to finish him off. So we're going to go for some kills. DJ has 3 kills already, so we're going to go for 4 and hopefully prevent him from killing me in any way. Getting another kill, so trying to get kill more on this turn. So let's at the start of the shooting phase, I'm going to mark.
Tough decision. Probably the Blood Crushers in the center.
I'm going to. So I've got 2 Lords of Virulence over here, and they will be able to pick 2 different targets to let me reroll 1s to hit into. I'm going to pick the one with the enhancement's going to pick Scarbrand here so that the multi-melta will be able to reroll ones to hit and ones to wound. And then I think we're going to pick the other one's going to be this guy in the middle.
The Forge Fiend.
Forge Fiend? Yeah, I mean, he'll do a lot of work. Either that or the Demon Prince. Yeah, we'll do the Forge Fiend. Gonna do the Forge Fiend. Decision made. On we go. That was a very resultful shooting phase. So over here, I put the flamers from the characters into Scarbrand, and then all the flamers from regular guys into this last dog. So we picked up the last dog here.
Scarbrand's down to 14.
Yeah, we shot. I don't know. Did I get anything through from here? Oh yeah, I got one Melta shot through, but I rolled a 1 on the damage.
Yeah,
so he just took 3. I mean, Melta range there. We did shoot the Land Raider, put his last cannons into this Forge Fiend, and then pick him up
and blew him up.
Yeah, we just chipped a bunch of damage here. I got greedy. I tried to proc off the contagion on him by shooting 1 plasma gun from the Plague Marines at him. I missed. Being silly, I CP re-rolled it and still missed, so wasn't able to put him in contagion. It turns out I didn't need to. I was hoping to put him in contagion for the bloat drone when shooting him, but didn't really do anything. So the rest of their shots went into the Demon Prince. Put a heavy bolter from the Land Raider into the Demon Prince. All the rest of their shooting
spawn.
The Land Raider also put its bolters and Havoc launcher into the spawn. When I finished the spawn off, DJ popped these guys onto the table, taking that objective. Then the Demon Prince was down to 3. I threw grenades with the Lord of Contagion here. He's doing the action for Established Locust, but I threw grenades with him so that he can, he can do the business there. So he finished off the Demon Prince. I rolled hot on my grenades and was able to finish him off. The rest of the shooting from the 2 bloat drones really just kind of whiffed into these because I wasn't getting any rerolls. I didn't mark them by the Lord of Virulence. And DJ just made some involved. So I just only killed 1 of them in the shooting from the 2 bloat drones. So we're going to have to charge and do this in ritual combat. So DJ does not have... I was thinking about if he had enough to interrupt, I might just keep these guys here because they have the fights first. But now we're going to charge. We're going to do some charging. So we're going to charge Scarbrand, and we're going to charge the mounted... What are they?
Blood Crushers.
Blood Crushers. I should have known blood something. I should have started with the word blood. Let's do some charging. What a roller coaster of emotions. So the good news over here, it took everything we had. So I charged in the Death Shroud squad, and I also charged in the lone op Lord of Virulence, just because DJ did not have any CP for to get the kills or to interrupt or anywhere. So I just figured I'd have to go into it. So, and it took everything because I only overkilled by 1 extra damage by 2 wounds. So he had 12 wounds left, and after all the hits and the saves and the embalm saves, I did 14 wounds we had 12 wounds left. So it came right down to it, very close in picking up Scary B. So feels good. In this detachment, the Death Shroud do not have any strats or anything that buff their attacks. In the other detachments, there are many things, but they just hit with normal. And this is led by a Lord of Virulence, not the Lord of Contagion, so they didn't have that lance and sustained on there. So luckily we managed to pull that off. Over here, charge the Plague Marines in. Plague Marines absolutely whiffed. I think the champion got 1 wound, but DJ saved it. The heavy plague weapons, 12 attacks. I got 1 lethal and 1 hit. All the rest were 1s and 2s and 3s, so we just absolutely whiffed with the 4 heavy plague weapons. And then just got a couple damage through from the bare hand swinging. Now, when DJ piled in, he did tag my Lord of Contagion here in hopes that he would be able to pick him up and shut off his Established Locust. He did get 1 or 2 damage through. He's down to 1 wound. But when he slapped back, I went with his sweep, which was 10 attacks, and actually managed to pick up 2 of the remaining Blood Crushers. So he did better than the Plague Marines did with all their attacks. So that was a hilarious bit of interaction there. And then when these guys slapped into the Plague Marines, they picked up 3 of them, I think. There wasn't a whole lot of damage. So DJ did me a favor and matched my whiffing with a little whiffing on his own. So that's it for that turn. Oh, I charged the Land Raider in here just to tie these guys up and killed 3 of them with the Land Raider. Good job, Land Raider. They did scrape 2 wounds off the Land Raider. So that's it for Yeah, that's it for me. On to DJ.
All right, Sabotage and Assassinate for this turn. So we're just going to look at Assassinate and pitch Sabotage for a command point. Don't really have a good option for it because I need to do some damage. I guess he could Sabotage if I need to, but for right now, we're just more focused on doing damage, and we need to get rid of these Plague Marines. So we fell back with the Blood Crushers. Did spend my command point to add a Blood Crusher back to this unit, so we have got them back up to a higher strength. And then we moved out with the Berserkers. They're on a 7-inch charge rerollable for the blessings going into this character. So he is our backup assassinate if the Forge Fiends can't do it into the Plague Marines. And so that'll be hopeful at the end of it. But, you know, he did kind of smack my Blood Crushers after I tried to get cute with him before. So who knows? And then we did move this Forge Fiend, so we're still holding this objective. But then he's within 18, so he could shoot over there. He could sabotage if need be. That's basically saying that he has to obliterate almost the entire squad. Stayed in combat over here with the Bloodletters. Just hopefully keeps trying to scrape some wounds off of that thing. Yeah, it's really because if we fall back, he'll just shoot us into oblivion. So we'll just keep trying to scrape some wounds off of it. Hopefully get rid of it. Right now, we have we completely abandoned our home field objective. So we're playing very World Eater. We're trying to take back the center. I thought I lost it when the Terminators came in, but we're making some good progress on it. So we did move the Berserkers in a weird way so that we could avoid the Overwatch from these guys because they would just tear us to shreds. They'll still probably tear us to shreds in the center, but we'll at least take a character in the process. So, all right, let's do some shooting. All right, well, that did not go as well as I was hoping. So, shooting-wise, Forge Fiends were able to pick up the squad, but left... Oh, I should have charged with him. But left the characters alive.
Yeah.
And when we charged with the Berserkers, we were able to pile in and hit more of the characters, and I can't scrape the last wound off this guy for some reason.
The higher toughness T6 on the regular Marines and T7 on the Terminator was hugely relevant in this engagement.
Even the Eviscerator wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
So very, very rough beats over there for Assassinate. So we're going to hold on to Assassinate. Maybe we'll get lucky and pick up a character in some other way, shape, or form. But yeah, and then over here, lost 2 more Bloodletters and did not do any damage to Land Raider. So just picking up the 1 squad for right now. Not a very good turn so far, and we'll kick it over to Lane.
For this turn, I have Recover Assets and Area Denial. I did have Sabotage and decided to pitch it, and then I ended up with Recover Assets, which is somehow worse. So I don't know if I'll score any secondaries in this turn. That's kind of a bummer. So what we're just going to do is try to... We didn't move any of these characters. If I fell back with anybody, I can get overwatched by this guy, which he'll have full rerolls if I'm with an 18. Bummer there. So we just move the Death Shroud forward. Looks like they get a 5 or 6 inch charge into the remaining Berserks here, and moved up everything so that we could shoot this guy or we could shoot here. I just don't think we're going to be able to do anything for area denial. So yeah, that's it. Let's do a little bit of shooting. Well, in a ridiculous turn of events, I got 0 kills this turn. Mark this guy for rerolls. The Land Raider can't shoot out of here because he's not wholly on the train and no part of it is out of here, so I couldn't shoot at him. But I shot my Fithic Blight Hauler and 2 of the Blow Drones at him. Just got him down to 2 wounds, so no kills there. Don't worry, the Death Shroud just have to make a 4-inch charge into these guys, which I failed with the CP reroll. So 2 tries to roll 4 and could not do it. Yeah, and then he killed the Lord of Contagion. He only had 1 wound left, so that's going to happen. So I got 0 kills this turn. Pretty much just seals the game off there for DJ because I can't make a 4-inch charge. Let's see what he does in his turn 5.
All right, so everything into 1. We're kind of getting down to the wire here. So we got Secure No Man's Land and Cleanse. Move this guy back. He's going to cleanse this objective. And we've just got left the Juggernauts here to cleanse this objective. He stayed still so he didn't accidentally get overwatched and lose his last 2 wounds. Put all his guns with rerolls into the Land Raider, brought it down to 1 wound, and it took Lane 2 command points for 2 rerolls to keep the Land Raider alive, but it is still alive at 1 wound. Khorne Berserkers picked up the character in the center here, so we only got 1 kill for the turn so far. Piled into him, took 1 damage. So again, 1 kill for the turn so far. I know I'm going to lose 2 units at least. I'm going to probably lose these Berserkers and the Forge Fiend, so minimal of 2 there. And we'll see if we can't pick up 1 more before going down to get that extra kill. So, all right, we did get 9 on secondaries, and we'll kick it over to lane. I did get 8 on primary for my turn because I did hold more objectives at the beginning. And this will be over to lane.
All right, so for the last turn, we just played it through here. I had Secure No Man's Land and Marked for Death. I was able to charge in here, kill the Berserkers for a kill there, finish off the Forge Fiend and shooting there. And then the Marked for Death was this Forge Fiend, these guys, and the Bloodletters here. These Bloodletters have been the bane of my existence because I just can't. I shot at them with a Land Raider. DJ made all of his 4-up invulns. Shot and then charged in, did tank shock, did 1 mortal wounded tank shock, and then between the attacking from all 3 of these tanks, just couldn't shoot that thing. You know, he had that big 6 on the revive for the D6 revive. Obviously, that was a huge swing there, but yeah, so it was a pretty close game with the new armies. But the World Eaters did come out on top with a 91, and the Death Guard came out with an 83. So a high-scoring game on both sides. And yeah, you can't rely on 4-inch charges, guys. Got to make sure you're within 3 inches. So you just need a 2 on the dice. So that is the game. Follow us over to the post-game battle report, and we'll talk about the whole thing. All right, have a good one.